You've actually caught me at a bad time. G'day folks, it's Cortezerino. The armour is staying on for this intro because we are a little bit exposed here, but I have a problem. I really wanted to do a blaze farm this episode. I really need a nice way of getting XP. Like, I've been doing the villager trading, but I'm kind of getting bored of that. And so I wanted a good place to get XP, and the blaze rods for fuel so I can build a big furnace array would be very cool as well. But the problem is I can't decide where I want to build this blaze farm, so I need your help on deciding. So I want you all to get your comment fingers ready and tell me what I'm going to do here. But first, before that, I will give you a bit of a long-winded explanation on what's happening. See, I've found this is the fortress I was talking about a few episodes ago, where I said it was super scary and I hadn't explored it yet, but I've got myself some good armor, so here I am. And I found what I thought was a double blaze spawner, and I've blocked them all up with dirt so nothing can spawn. But then I started looking into the dimensions. So you've got to be within 16 blocks of a spawner to activate it, and I get a bit confused on the diagonal. So I was looking at this thinking, oh yeah, this is just 16 blocks. But then I realized it's a circular sort of circumference around the spawner. So it's 16 blocks in a straight line, but then when you start going out on a diagonal, it's more like 11. I just sort of judged it quickly, but when we look at the 11 blocks out from the spawner, it finishes about here on this one, and all the way over here on that one. So this is about the center between the two, and we are out of spawning range. So the option is, I thought that torch was a beastie. Be very careful. I thought about using the thing where you jump in a minecart and it goes back and forth between the two, but I'm not convinced that works very well. I'm not sure that would be any better than just having a single spawner for your blaze farm. So yeah, sure, I could sit here in a minecart and it would send me back and forth and I'd be activating both, but are they always going to spawn 4 every time I'm here? I don't know. If you've built one, let me know. And tell me if you think it is worth me building a double blaze farm right here. I'm not sure. I do like the space. We've got a lot of room here to build. And sure, I could run off to another fortress somewhere and find a double blaze one, but I like this one because we are not that far away from my nether hub. And the one thing I liked when I was playing in the server last season, I had a blaze farm right there at my portal. So that's what I want to do again. I want to have it really, really close. So this one isn't super duper close, but it is close enough that once I put a tunnel in, I could probably get to it in no time at all. See, my nether hub is over inside the netherrack, just over there. So it's some distance. It'd probably take, I don't know, a minute or two to get there in a good tunnel. But I'll show you the other option and you guys tell me what to do. Well, I called this a nether hub. It's not really. It's just sort of a collection of little passages. So you see, I've got one portal just there and my other portal you can't see, but it's right down below us. So the other option is very, very close to where my portal is going to be. We have another blaze spawner. Where will I get a good view of it? Maybe out here. Probably get a good view of someone trying to shoot my face as well. So you can just see the top of my portal where my cursor is over there. And then right over there is a blaze spawner. So it's just a single one. It's in a little bit of a crazy area to try and build. I don't have to clean out netherrack at least. But I will have ghast shooting at me. So that one is super close. So what do I do, guys? Do I muck around with a minecart trying to activate 2 spawners and the one way over there? Or do I just do the one that is nice and close? So if I build my hub big enough, it could actually be part of the hub. That could be pretty cool. But anyway, guys, comment fingers, comment hands, typing, and tell me which one is the better option. I think I'm leaning toward the single one. But I don't know, maybe you've built a double one where you have to jump in a minecart and go back and forth to activate them, and it works really well. I don't know. So that is what I want to know. But let's go back to base. And before I had come up with the idea that I was going to be building a blaze farm this episode, the plan had been to actually work on my oil rig here and get it looking pretty, because I've been doing a lot of farming stuff around here. You can see there's new stuff popping up everywhere, but I was actually going to work on the decorations for it because we've got this iron farm up the top, and I was going to start building up and making the whole thing look like a real oil rig. And then we get the pre-release for 1.14.3, where they're changing the mechanics for iron farms again. And I'm pretty sure this one will still work. I may want to put a zombie up there just to increase the rates. But I want to wait and see, and I may end up changing the design of my iron blade just to get it to work a bit better. But we've been getting lots and lots of iron. It's been up and running for quite a while. I've probably got enough to make a big beacon by now. I'm not sure, but let's show you what I've been up to here. Basically, everything I've been doing has been geared toward my villager trading down below. I've nearly got every single enchant that I want, except for Respiration 3. And considering I've been doing a lot of building in water and underwater, that's probably the first one I would have wanted, but I'm still trying to get it. But I'll look at my armor, guys. The helmet I haven't done anything with yet because I haven't got the Respiration 3. So we don't need the projectile protection on that. That's not done yet either. But the boots are done. So we've got protection and feather falling, depth strider, all that. But look at the pants. Look at the pants. We've got protection, blast protection, projectile, and fire protection. And the thorns there. And there's a reason, like, you know how you can put all your different enchants on your armor now? You don't actually want to have all the different enchants on all the different armor, because it actually doesn't help you. Let's jump into Creative World and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I have myself in survival and we have a little pool of lava. So here's my armor. I've got protection 4 on everything and fire protection 4 on everything. So let's jump in the lava, and I've got some food so I can eat when I need to, and we'll see what kind of damage we get. So we're getting half a heart every now and then, and when I eat, oops, don't want to click on that. When I eat, the heart goes back up. So this is pretty cool. As long as we're eating, we're not going to die from lava until our armor breaks, that is. So let's get out here and let's try a different suit of armor. Okay, so this time we've got protection 4 on everything, but then on the pants I also have 1 fire protection, 1 blast protection, and 1 projectile protection. So you're thinking, well, you've only got 1 fire protection. Surely this is going to hurt you a lot more, isn't it, Cortez? Well, let's just have a look. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. There we go. Half a heart. It is actually exactly the same, guys. And let's wait till the fire stops and I will tell you why. So it was an Ilmango video, of course, which taught me this. So I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. But he just goes over the way that damage works, and you could have all the best enchantments on every single piece of armor, and it's just overkill because the most incoming damage that your armor can ever block, if you've got a full suit of diamond armor, is 80% of the incoming damage. So having fire protection on everything doesn't make you fireproof, it just blocks 80% of the damage. And the best way to get to that 80% is to have 1 protection 4 on everything, and then 1 fire protection somewhere, 1 blast protection somewhere, and 1 projectile protection. And that's all you need. Anything more than that, and you're not actually making yourself stronger. The only reason you would probably want to have more enchants on the armor is in case one breaks, then you're still pretty strong without it. See, if my pants broke here, I'd be in trouble, but I doubt my pants. When do you ever have one piece of armor just break on you? Unless you're like taming an ocean monument. The Guardians will break your armor if you're not careful. So that is what I'm going for, and he showed probably the best way to do it is to try and put them all on your leggings, and it is a bit neater that way as well. It's a little bit tricky. I mucked it up the first time and I got all my enchants onto one. I'll show you how to do it actually. Rather than me carry on about nothing, let's get the books out and I'll show you. So there are 7 enchantments that you can put on your diamond leggings. So you've got the 4 different protections, and then you want to have thorns. You want to have it on your leggings, the thorns, rather than your breastplate, because then when you switch to Elytra later on, you've still got your thorns. Unbreaking 3 and mending. Putting all 7 using books onto your leggings isn't going to work probably, because you'll just end up with it being too expensive. So if it gets up to 40 cost to put any enchant on your armor, then it just says too expensive. So what you want to do is take your leggings to an enchantment table and get something on there. So something good, one of the things you want, like protection 4, it could be any of these, could be unbreaking 3, whatever it is. And then you want to combine your books in a special way. And the first time I tried to do this, I just put all the books together in one book, and then it was too expensive to put on my leggings. But I figured out the way to do it. And the good 2 to start with are blast protection and thorns, because if you put thorns in the second spot here and try and combine them, it's always really expensive. Same thing with blast protection, that's an 8. But switch it around and always have the thorns or the blast protection in the front one. That's nice and cheap, so that's a 4. So you combine those 2, and then we get our thorns. We put that in the front, and we grab whichever one we want. That's 4 as well. And then what we do is we combine these with these 2 books. So we'll take one of these ones where we've got 2 on there. We'll throw in the unbreaking, cost 4 as well. And we're putting this in the front spot again, remember? So now we've got 3 enchants on that book. We'll do the same here. Put 3 enchants on this book. Now we do not combine these books. What we do is we then put them on the armor one at a time, and that is just cheap enough. Although I used a book for the first one, so you probably can do it with just with putting it all on books rather than using the enchanting table, because this is still nice and cheap. But that is how you do it, guys. Combine them all into 2 lots of books, and then you in 2 goes put it on your armor, and you're good. And then once you do that, all you have to do is concentrate on your leggings, and then on all your other bits of armor, you just put your protection 4 and whatever other little things you want, Acro Affinity, Respiration, Feather Falling, and you are as OP as you're going to get. So the other 2 big things I've done are right here. One is very easy to see, and the other one is a little bit hidden, which I was pretty happy with the way I managed to hide that, actually. So we've got all this sort of spare area just underneath the floor of my oil rig here. I've been able to hide a bit of redstone, so that is cool. So these are both Ilmango designs. This is a pumpkin and melon farm. So I've got alternating lines of pumpkins and melons, and it's fully automatic here. So the observer block is looking at the stem of the plant, and it detects when it grows something. So it just powers the block up here, and the pistons here are getting bud powered, and you can make them fire by having note blocks there, because note blocks causes block updates or something now. But anyway, as soon as it grows a thing, the pistons all around will fire and destroy the item. And when the piston comes down, it pushes the items off to the side. And these tilled bits of earth aren't a full block, so I've got hoppers underneath collecting all the goodies and sending them down here. And I used hoppers rather than hopper minecarts just so I didn't have to have it running the entire time. But it's not a full grid of hoppers I've got going on here. It's sort of like a mesh pattern, because I only need them really underneath these bits of tilled earth. But down here we have the very, very hard to see, actually. How loud is this going to be when I switch it on? Can we still talk? Yeah, sure we can. So, you know, in Minecraft, when I play, there are some sort of cheaty things that I'm okay with, and some that I'm not. So, like powered rail duping, I'm absolutely fine with that. If I'm going to build a big project that needs lots of powered rail, I'm just going to dupe it. Same thing with carpet duping. I'm okay with that if I'm building a massive project and I maybe need to spawn proof a roof or something like that. I'm just going to dupe the carpet. Where I draw the line is when it gets super cheaty, like using a carpet duper to make infinite fuel for a furnace array? No, thank you. I'll just build a blaze farm. It's a little bit too cheaty for me. This kind of falls into the too cheaty category, but honestly, guys, I did not have room in this thing for a big sugarcane farm. So this is what I'm using instead. It's Ilmango's zero tick little device where you push blocks into the dirt in at the bottom of some sugarcane, zero tick pulses, and it makes it grow straight away. You can see every time it grows up a little bit, that thing fires and knocks the top off my sugarcane. Let's turn this off, it's getting too noisy. So what I've done is I've just linked the collection in with the collection for my pumpkins and melons. So the hopper chain goes straight past the front of this thing. So the sugarcane's added to it and then just comes into a dropper here. I'm collecting everything, so I'm standing too close. And that all goes into a water stream, gets sent down the leg of my oil rig, all the way down to my trading hall. And I really need to make a quicker way of getting up and down. That is taking me forever. But this is going to be my new entrance to the trading hall. And you can see I've done a bit of expanding. I've still got to move some chests. But we've cleared out a little bit more room. I've added one more cell onto the ends of each of these. And yes, I'm just waiting on Respiration 3. So this is going to be my Respiration 3 guy. And then I have every single enchant I want in this tiny little space. I've only got 10 villagers on each side. And then I've got 4 good guys here. So I've got Toolsmith, a Mason, because I wanted to get quartz off this guy. What's the other one? Weaponsmith, so I can buy diamond swords. And the armorer, so I can buy all the diamond armor. I think that's about all I want. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have room for anyone else anyway, unless I can just keep trading and manage to find some guys with a few enchants all together so I can sort of clear a bit of room here. But no, I don't know. But that is going to be my Respiration 3 guy. And yes, we are looking good. But what I've done here is, so that leg is the entrance. The other leg where I was dropping all the goodies down, it all files into here. So we've got our sugarcane, pumpkins, melons, and then the overflow system will be bone meal. Oh, I've got one. How did that happen? I'll probably put it in there. We've got a long way to go before I get any overflow because I've been trading so much. So the plan is, once I start getting overflow and I start making bone meal in here, then I can put a little micro farm so I can make wheat, carrots and potatoes just to feed these guys and to trade with them. Oh yes, and I've added 2 more farmers to my thing up the front here so I can get more emeralds. But pretty soon I won't need to breed anymore. I'll have all the enchantments I want. So I've still got to do something about the dripping. But what I think we're going to do right now, guys, is just fix up 2 more things around the base. I remember there were 2 things I wanted to fix. I can only think of one of them right now, though. One of them is this. We need to make a much faster way of getting up and down. Maybe the other thing I wanted to fix was the drips. That could be it. Yes. Oh, yes, and make a spot for my my little micro farm with the bone meal, which I may never use. We'll see. So I'm going to make a cut, guys, and we're going to do some building. And yes, I will do something about the drips as well. All right, guys, we have been doing just a little bit of work here. I'm not sure about that red carpet. It looks a bit weird. But I have fixed up some of the drips down here, not all of them. Only problem is it is looking very beige. I just really wanted to try out this new smooth sandstone. So we've got slabs up there. Yeah, it's a little bit too much like the stripped birch, so we'll probably change that out. Although I do like the stripped dark oak around the edges there. And I have put my elevator in, so let's see if we can have a look at some of the redstone here without me making too much of a mess. That's not too much of a mess. So I've got a very crazy looking pulse extender. That was just so I could get a piece of redstone underneath my pressure plate. And then over here, just behind that block, we've got a sticky piston with 2 slime blocks. And then we've got soul sand and a magma block. So it's always set with the magma block to suck us down. So, oh, that is in the wrong spot. So we don't need to activate this thing when we're right all the way up the top. We can just come down. But from the bottom, we just stand on the pressure plate and the soul sand pushes across. It's a little bit slow, unfortunately. Well, it comes across straight away, but it takes a few moments for the bubble columns to switch, which is unfortunate. I wish Mojang would fix that. And the water's being held back by the pressure plate and this fence gate. But as soon as I step on that, the fence gate opens up. So you see, that changes straight away. But yeah, there's that long delay. Not a fan of that, Mojang. And the other thing, I was trying to remember what I wanted to do. It was to do with the iron farm. So my iron collection is very, very simple. I've just got all the hoppers leading into these 3 chests right here. So I didn't have to do anything fancy at all with my iron collection. But I did want to get rid of the poppies. So all I've done is I've put in a little item sorter right here, filtering out the poppies, and then used way too many hoppers to send it over and connect it with this hopper chain over here. So that's connecting up with all the sugar cane and the pumpkins and the melons, and it's going all the way down this drop chute, if I can get in there properly. And then down the bottom here, I've just got the 3 item sorters separating the sugar cane, the pumpkins and the melons, and everything else. Everything that is on the overflow just goes into that composter and becomes bone meal. So all the poppies will automatically go down there. And I've also made an improvement to my ice tunnel. You remember before, when we'd get to the end, I'd glitch out and I'd be stuck on top of an invisible boat. Well, now it just breaks on the... Look at all the junk I've got in here. It just breaks on the cactus, and that way I'm not sitting around trying to get moving and have to log out again. But while we were here, I'm just going to make this a little bit more automatic. So now we can do that, and if we put the boat in the hopper, it'll go into the dropper, so all I need to do is press a button to get it back. Although mobs can spawn on top of hoppers, can't they? And I don't want a pigman down here. I can't put buttons on top of hoppers anymore. I'm going to have to come back with some carpet because we get angry pigmen in this area. I'm not sure if they're still angry at me, and I don't want to risk it. And I don't know if you noticed, but I've got 3 ender pearls in my inventory, and I finally got myself an Enderchest because I've been over here at the desert hunting endermen. So it's, well, you can't even see it. It is invisible. But I've made out of sandstone. Right below me, there's a little hidey hole for me to stand under that the enderman can't get to. So I just drop down this thing when I lure one over, and the fence and the lights stops any other beasties from joining us while we're having a little fight. And I have found, after 3 nights, 1 enderman. And I got 1 ender pearl off him. The other 3 pearls came from doing a bit of caving while I was waiting for night. I really don't like this way of getting ender pearls, and I'm going to need a bunch of them if we're ever going to find the ender portal. So in between episodes, I am going to go build a ender pearl farm. An overworld one, because we haven't been to the end yet. It's one that I discovered by accident last year. I was building something else and I went AFK, and when I came back there were a bunch of ender pearls in my chests. So I'm going to go build that, and you can see next episode what it is exactly that I'm doing. So let's hope it works. But let me know in the comments, guys, which blaze spawner am I going to use? Am I going to use the double, which is just too far apart, or am I going to use the one right next to my portal? And also, guys, I'm going to let you decide what we do next episode. Are we building a blaze farm? Are we trying to get to the end to kill the dragon? Because I would love shulker boxes for when I'm out here mining. Or are we going to do something completely out of left field and muck around in a flower forest? Wow, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Yep. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm Cortezerino. I will see you later.